Hey guys, how's it going? All right, welcome to a butterfly card and story time. Kind of a sad story, kind of happy ending. We'll see. Um, but it is long, so get you something to drink, pull up a chair, all the things. So we are just going to ink up these yummy little Gina K butterfly stamps, and I keep sticking my hand all in the black ink. These are stamps. Let's see. They are called Beautiful Butterflies, and they come with dies plus the 2 dies that I actually used, and then that's not the stamp set. Oh, here it is. Okay. Here it is. So there, and then we're also using this cool butterfly 3D embossing folder from Simon Says. These dies from Surprise Creation, and the little flag dies from Unity. So, all right, let's give that a good press. So I'll tell you why I've been out or off of YouTube for a little bit. I have told you briefly in a couple of videos, but I didn't know if I was gonna feel like stamping and doing much right now, so I think I moved that. That's okay. Par for the course. We'll see. If we moved it, if we wiggled it, I have some cut out already anyway. I was just stamping this part because that's what you do. I think it, yeah, I think I might have. Yep, I did. Okay, so scratch this part. Toss that. Find this again. Okay. So, I wasn't feeling that great. Recently, it started, just a second, I've got to get a paper towel. I just don't want to touch them and get my hands completely black again. So, on Valentine's Day, my boyfriend and I went out, had a great time, everything was fine. And the next day, a major flood hit our area. During that time, my father's girlfriend, who I can't stand, you guys know that, works semi close to here. And so she did not have a backup plan. Okay, so we're going to put this on this. This is our future plan. And we're going to have a little flag thing here. Probably should have stamped that already. Oh well. Okay, so we're going to go with this butterfly and one of these butterflies. Wait, no, we need 2 of the same. Yeah, that's what we need. Okay. So, on the back, I want to give it a little color. And on the front, I do not. You can see the one I colored on the back before. And it's kind of a hot mess, but I do cover it up with another one, so I think it'll be okay. So I'm going to keep, I'm going to kind of keep going with that. We'll see how it goes. All right. Anyway, so my father's girlfriend was kind of trapped, and she legitimately was. Like, it wasn't one of her little plots or ploys or whatever. So, she could not get home, and she couldn't get to, she has several kids, but, she couldn't get to any other places or whatever. They couldn't get to her, so where does she come? Here. Okay, so that is the night that, my chest started hurting, but I prefer not to talk to her, just to prefer she doesn't exist, right? And I make it a very, very, I don't know what you call it, habit, I guess, to not to be around when she is. You know, it's fine that they're dating. I think she is a little bit good for my father and things. He does need somebody, but I can't stand her. Didn't like her as a kid, not gonna like her now. Okay, so this was even before my father. It's just one of those things, and that's the way it goes. But he does, so that's okay. But anyway, so she was trapped, and so she came here, and so they just kind of stayed in that end of the house. I only had like a 15-minute time span, maybe that much, before she was coming. And so I was running around like crazy, and I fed the dogs and did all the stuff and whatever, just so I wouldn't have to really come out. I thought, you know, Dad's on his own. He can do whatever and hope for the best. And he always says he can do everything, so here's the time. So that went okay. Like I said, I felt a tightness, a hurting in my chest, but I just thought that was anxiety, and it was a hard situation. The guest bedroom is like right beside my dad's bedroom, so luckily it's on that end of the house, but it wasn't cleaned out, so that was a downside. We had to, okay, so what I'm going to do is, I know this is a hot mess. Don't even worry about that. You're not really going to see this much. So I'm just going to go all around this and color it black, because I hate that white thing all around it. So my father was just going to try, he says, sleep on the couch. And I'm not having that, right? He can't do that. He can't even sit on the couch and get up. He just can't. It's not an option. And so I told him I would sleep on the couch. He can sleep in my bed, whatever. And because part of my prepper room is the spare bedroom, and it is pretty full. And so anyway, I just didn't really have time to clean it and do all the other stuff. And anyway, so he wasn't going for that. He didn't want to put me out of my bed, whatever. And that was driving me crazy. So I waited until she went to take a shower. And I ran in there. I was, oh gosh, y'all, I was throwing stuff across the room, over the bed. I wanted to get it done. She's very fast. She's like the freaking Energizer Bunny, okay? She's like, I knew I didn't have long. So she already gets out before I'm done. I try to be polite for my father because, you know, I mean, you can fake lots of things in life. I don't know why I can't fake this. It is so hard. So I made some little comment about, you know, the weather. It was crazy out there and whatever. And she was like trying to chase me through the house, give me her towels or something. She's like, where'd your dad say that these, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, just leave me alone, lady. Go ask him. Anyway, so, but I cleared it off enough for him to sleep in there. And I have to have him in bed. Like, no, even if I have to speak to that woman, I can't be letting him try to be on the couch and all that. So I had to suck that up. But anyway, so luckily the next morning, I don't know how, because the rest of the county was literally falling apart. So I'm going to do that same thing. This is much prettier, I feel like. This is the color fuchsia. All right, so now I don't want to take all the detail away, but anyway, so she leaves, and her kid, one of her kids, he has like a backhoe or some big piece of equipment, an inloader, I don't know. So he manages to like dig out a road or something, and enough where they can come get her. And so I didn't have to see her that morning, so I was thrilled. And so I thought, you know, crisis averted, right? Like, it seemed like the longest night of my life, but yeah. Anyway, she was gone. Everything was gonna be okay. The rest of the county is falling apart, but I felt like I had my own little personal storm, and I did more than I realized, because apparently that's when things started happening in my body. Now, I don't blame the actual blood clots. That's what was going on in my body. I just didn't know it on her. I feel like they've probably been there. but I think that she released them. Maybe they were in my legs, moved to my lungs. I don't know, because that's when I felt it. We'd had a polar vortex kind of thing come through not long before that. So I had been out with the dogs and working on them, all their places and all their blankets and all their, just things. And keeping all the water warm and just stuff that you do. And so I kept thinking, I wasn't too worried about the chest thing just because I thought that was her and that was anxiety, right? Okay, so this is going to go on top of this eventually. And I just wanted you to be able to see a little color under there, but not like a whole lot. Ooh, that darkened that area up, didn't it? Ew. Maybe that wasn't the one I used. Anyway, so I went to the doctor and I saw a nurse practitioner that I haven't seen before. And I like this place a little bit better. They're, I'm not going to say great care, but it was a step above what I used to go to. And but I had liked the people that I had seen there before. And, okay, we're going to work on that in a few minutes. Right now we're going to do some stamping on our little tag. So they told me, like I said, I saw a different one. I didn't like her as she walked in the room. You know how you just get the feeling, yeah, this one's not for me. There's just something about her I didn't like. So I told her all my symptoms. I still had the UTI, things like that. So we discussed an antibiotic, that I was having some coughing and some like chest pressure and kind of aching and this little weird feeling in my chest. And honestly, if you're describing these symptoms, I feel like she should have sent me for something. But she didn't. She listened to it and whatever. She said, oh, it's just this same chest thing that everybody's got going on right now. It's, you've been out and the weather and the flood and the whatever. I'm like, well, some, yeah, but this feels different. And it's just something in my chest I've never felt before. It's not like, like a heart attack, like an elephant sitting on your chest, they could say, and this and that. But it's definitely something that shouldn't be there. But again, she just kind of dismissed it, and sent me home. She gave me an antibiotic and a steroid shot, and, she had sent me home, with an antibiotic that we discussed that would take care of the chest thing as well as my UTI, which was Cipro. And it's one I could take. I'm allergic to several things like that. So, you know what? While I'm here, I'm just going to stamp one more. Because I'd like to do 2 of these if possible. Ugh, I can't ever do that. I don't know why. I have to just pick it up, put it on there. So I got home and it was like after hours or whatever by the time because I went after work, and so she'd called in the wrong one, and it was something that I couldn't take. I'm like, we just talked about this. So I called back I called the answering service that night. They were supposed to have her call me back or somebody on duty, but they didn't. And so I called the next day, and they said she was at another office, which is like another hour or so away. And but they would leave her a message in the computer that somehow they couldn't change her stuff or something. She had to. So, okay. So that prolonging everything, and she never called back or whatever. Nothing. They didn't call anything in. So I called back a little later. I'm like, okay, did she call? Did she this, that? They're like, nope, she must not have seen it yet, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, look, I've got to have some medicine here. And so, she said, well, the only thing we could do would be to let you talk to one of the providers on duty, but you would have to pay, your copay and all that again. It's like, fine, let's just do it. Just call me something in so I can get better. And so I told them my chest is hurting and this, that, whatever. She's like, well, if this doesn't clear up, you really need to come in. Because I had asked for an x-ray about 3 times. I'd also asked for blood work, which I never do. I hate blood work, okay? Hate it. Because they have such a hard time. I'm a heart stick. I have weird little veins or something. But so I just dread getting it. I put it off like crazy. But this time I thought, okay, I'm going to give you guys 2 tries, okay? You blow 2 veins. We'll go with that. So, but she wouldn't do that, the first one. And so the second one's like, well, you know, we really need to check on that chest thing. I'm like, huh, you think? And okay, so this is Kitsch Flamingo. And I'm just going to put a little bit, I hope. Right through there. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. I sprayed the other one and I sprayed too much, so I'm scared to spray this one too much. Let's try one more while we're waiting anyway. Hang on. Well, we're not really waiting. We're just chatting. Okay. Give me 2 to kind of whatever. Okay, so well, I need one to dry while I'm. All right, what if I dab it a little bit? That takes away the look of the butterfly, doesn't it? Actually. Oh well. Anyway, so I said, yeah, I think so too. Anyway, so I was off the next day, and then let's see how'd it go. Okay, so I worked. Then the next day was Thursday. I went to work, and I had we had, like, because of the flood, our school was turned into like a shelter. And so I want to seem like I'm helping or whatever. So I'm slinging boxes and picking up cases of water and putting them on carts for people and helping them push them to their car and, you know, all the things. And not helping because I was like, oh, well, at least I didn't fall over. Must not be anything. But I still was feeling bad and just decided to go to the doctor that evening after work. So, okay. Where is this one? Okay. So I want a hint of color behind it here. Uh-oh, I see a spot. A spot we have not colored. And, okay, so this is not the one I colored. This is the one I colored previously because I colored it black. So I'm going to color the back of this one black because when you pop it up, you're going to see white, and that's going to drive me bonkers. So I go over after work, and I was almost about to go back to this place because they could do an x-ray, and honestly, I just thought I had pneumonia, and it's just like a touch of it, you know, and they could just give me something, and from all the cold air or whatever. But luckily, I got behind where some state road trucks were working because of the flood and things, and trying to repair roads and whatever. So I got held up, and that office closed. So, and I considered going on to the hospital. There's like a clinic, and then like right across the hall is the emergency room if you need it. So it's just a tiny little hospital. But anyway, but the walk-in clinic, anyway, so I thought, I just need the clinic, maybe, you know, and then if they, whatever, I'm not backing down, like, I'm definitely getting a chest x-ray no matter what this time. And, so then my chest, it was feeling more funny, and so, just a little bit of that, not colored again. Okay, let's get a little spray here. This is Decade. Not the one I picked, but I can't find the one I normally pick, so I really like this one, but it's more of a gold. I was kind of looking more for a silver. So I'm just going to give that a little spritz. And this little spritz. Ooh, that's a lot of spritz. And this one I already did, so let's do this one. Anyway, so I go in, I get some blood work, and it only took them 2 tries, which is amazing. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I have to stick you again. And what I'm like, listen, it's fine. Like, I love you. What's your name? I want to come back to you. That just very, very rarely ever happens. And so that was the first of many, many sticks to come, unfortunately. So with the blood work, my D-dimer count was up, and so they sent me over to have an x-ray or whatever, and then in between, so they got the blood work back or whatever, and so they let me check in more or less at the emergency room, so I had to go through all the stuff again. And but that lady seemed very knowledgeable, and she was like, oh, you're on birth control pills? I'm like, yeah, I've been on them about 27 years. She's like, what at your age, you know? And she's like, you have blood clots. She's like, there are blood clots in your lungs, I bet. I was like, huh? What? And she was right. So I'm gonna give this a little spritz too. And this one that we did not dry off is a little, we probably should have. It's a little, what do you call it? Melty, like it's gonna, like a puffy. I didn't use like mixed media paper, so that could be it. I'm just gonna spray right there, but I don't want to do it. I'm gonna just do whatever the garbage can. Well, I'll get the lid. Okay. So everything will be nice and shimmery, but I don't want it too shimmery. So let's just go back off that again. So I don't, because I cut these, I don't have enough of this cardstock. I don't know what color it is or where it came from, but I don't seem to have any more like that. So one of these is going to have to be in purple. But I've been wanting to get this card made and send a family member of a friend of mine, I guess you could say, a thinking of you card for a while now. So I wanted to do that as soon as I got better. All right, so let's just play around with this a little bit, placement and all that stuff before we really do anything else. Anyway, so that was worrisome. So she sent me to have a CT scan, and so that was conclusive, I guess. But all this time, honestly, all I'm thinking about is getting some donuts, because I did not eat anything before I went to work that day. And what was I going to color in there? I saw something. And I thought I'd get something at work, but they have some kind of gross fish stick things going on for the shelter, and didn't really have anything, so I didn't have anything there. And I don't know if I should do some black around the edge or anything or not. I'm not even sure if I like that now. But the only other one I have is this, and this one was sprayed a little too large, so, but we could try that. Do it up a bit more, possibly. This might actually work better. We'll still experiment with the black just because, I don't know, just because. But, we'll see about it. But I don't really mind that, you guys. What do you think? I don't know. And then I didn't spray any gold on it, so that was a difference there. I do have these, but I don't feel like... Anyway, so, do a few of those out there. Okay, so to do the CT scan, they had to use whatever an 18 gauge needle is, right? Or a IV thing in me, or whatever it is. I don't know. Anyway, 4 of them tried to stick me at that point. I wish they could have got the girl out front that did my blood work. But they stuck me all over my arms, and it was 13 times. 13. This was not counting the 2 that the other girl got blood from. So 34 to 15. Okay, so 15 sticks total that day. But anyway, one of them finally got it. There was even a lady in the ER that was like with her mama all in there, she said, and she had worked in a unit too, because she kept stepping to the door, and like, 'cause they were doing it over on the end, they didn't have a bed, so I was like in a chair, and it was wild. Anyway, I felt like she was just too interested to be your average Joe, you know, and so she had worked apparently in the ER too, and doing sticks for CT. So she was kind of offering her advice, which they did not take, and which I wish they would have, but I don't know if it would help or not. I don't know anything about it, but I was willing to let that lady try. At that point, it didn't matter. But finally, I had the CT. It took them hours and hours to read it, so I was just chilling out. I didn't let my dad come with me or anything because I was afraid of germs and don't want to get him sick. And at that point, I still didn't know the blood clots were, you know, if that was a sure thing or not. And so I didn't mention that to him. And I just told him, you know, we're just waiting. I just got all my scans and whatever. And everybody just thinks pneumonia for my family. I don't know why. But he has his own mobility issues, and y'all know I worry about him with blood clots and all kinds of things, and his leg lately and just everything. So I do not want him around any germs at all. And so I wouldn't let him go. And he's like, well, I'll just go and wait in the car. I'm like, no, you can't sit there either. You know that. And sweet of him to offer, but, you know, I can't do that. And so I was like, oh, this is nothing, you know, blah, blah, blah. Kind of nervous at that point, but still maintaining, you know. Okay, we got to make some decisions here. Let's see. The only other thing I have out, well, I do have these. Yeah, I could put a couple of pink ones somewhere. Let's put out a few of these, though. Just, ooh, okay. Didn't mean that many, but okay. Yeah, I think this will be better. Some little shinies here and there. So I hadn't eaten anything, and I had just cleaned, it was like the perfect storm. I just cleaned out my purse. I always have snacks in my purse, right? Or some gum, something. I had nothing. And so I didn't have anything in there. And I didn't want to really take my mask off to like eat out in the waiting room when I was out there, because they had a snack machine, but I was like, but then they got to the point, like, I don't know, they were just weird about like you moving and whatever. So I felt like they knew I had clots, but they couldn't say it yet or something. So, but anyway, I kept thinking about these Krispy Kremes, and I even had a couple like packs of crackers in my work bag, but I put my work bag in the back of the SUV because I didn't want anybody to like see that and think a purse and break in your car or something. And I knew they took a while, and I kept thinking, I'm gonna make it to McDonald's, because McDonald's now, if you don't know, or at least in our area, have Krispy Kreme donuts delivered fresh daily. So let's see here. Take that away. Do a couple more of these little small ones. Okay, I'm good with that. Let's do that. We'll figure out what we're going to do with the rest of that later. But, so I'm starving, and I'm still thinking the first clinic, I'm like, well, they close at 9, so I can still make it. McDonald's doesn't close until 12. And so I was still excited, still want my donuts. And then even in the emergency room until, oh my gosh, I just hit a while, then I was like, yeah, I'm not going anywhere. So then they came to tell me that, yes, I did have clots, and they were in both lungs, and it was multiple clots. They were relatively small, but there were multiples, and that's not good. And so they wanted to fly me out, and I'm thinking, what? Fly me out? Like, and it was so weird because I had seen a chopper as I pulled in the place. I thought, "Who? Guess that person's having a bad day," and yeah, didn't know that might be me, but luckily it was not. Which maybe it would have been better if it was. I don't know. I can't get anything out of here. Let's perform some glue surgery here. So once I heard fly me out, I was a little freaked out. And she's like, well, you know, you're serious, you're this, you're that. I'm like, okay. And so they had mentioned several of the hospitals that they were checking around to. And I'm more familiar with one because that's where my father was when he had his blood clots and things. And it's just somewhere I go more often. And I don't know, it just sounded more homey. And it was still a few hours away, but, you know, they all were. And so I said, well, if they have anything available, I'd really like to go there. And they saved him, so I felt like, you know, maybe they could save me. And so I was still okay or whatever. But I had called my father and told him I would be going probably in a little bit. My boyfriend was gone. I mean, I swear it was like the perfect storm. And I had even told him, and he's used to me kind of being a little cranky sometimes when I go somewhere and come home, I want to go to bed and all that. And I'm like, don't call me, don't, you know, I'm going to sleep. And because he was at a concert with a friend, and I talked to him while I was in the first waiting room just of the clinic at like maybe 5, 6 o'clock or something. And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just waiting, you know, no big deal. So I said, just call me tomorrow because I want to go home and go to bed after I get my donuts. And I don't know why this won't come out. Oh my God. I don't know, y'all. I don't really know what else to do here. I mean, it goes through that. Well, no, maybe it doesn't. Trying to like wiggle it all around. I mean, it goes through there, so why the heck is it not going through? I don't know what the holdup is here. Okay, so back to my story. Let me just tell you a story. This is going to drive me bonkers. Don't understand it. It's like I feel hard stuff up in there, but it won't really come out. Maybe that's it. Yes. Well, you never thought you'd be watching a video just somebody playing with the glue, did you, for so long? Okay, let's try it one more time. If not, I'll open the big glue and we'll try to make it work. My gosh, this is ridiculous. Alright, it's just not happening. I don't know. I actually think I even have a new tip somewhere, but I actually don't know where that is either. So we're just going to have to let that be. Open this from last night. Go back to my old style of glue. Oh, that's the That's the one that wouldn't work last night. I remember now. Okay, hang on. I'll get another needle. This one should work. So, at that point, then, I did tell my father that I was going to be going because, you know, I had to, wasn't coming home. And so I was like, but I kind of played a little, whatever. I was like, they said it's no big deal, you know. And just got to go up there and check some more things. They've got more technology and this and that. And so I was like, I'm going to have John bring you up in the morning. And I just want you to stay home and stay with the dogs and everything tonight. That means more to me. And it does. It did, you know. Then you coming up, and I don't want him out in the middle of the night. And I had to get a hold of my boyfriend because he was, like I said, gone. And he doesn't have like a normal cell phone. I guess you could text, but he doesn't open them. Anyway, it's got like an old flip phone and not a smartphone or anything. And so, okay, thank goodness. Now we got a little bit of glue going. Actually, I'm going to put just a little bit more because this card has a long way to travel. Okay. So, I left him a message, and then I left him a message at the house. So, he has several, and he's got a sick cat down the other one, and this and that. Anyway, again, like I said, perfect storm, crazy. So it was late, and he came in. It was like maybe 11 or something when he came, and he didn't check his messages there. And then because of the flood, it caused like a thing with the pole outside, and the power went off at his other place. And it messed the phone up there, so he didn't have a phone down there like he normally does. It's back now, but, you know, now a lot of good that does you. And so he still didn't know, thought, you know, everything was hunky-dory. And so I had to get my uncle to go down and, like, bang on his door. That I was like, let him just get a little bit of sleep or whatever. And I forgot that was glued. Oh, God. Heck on it. I already had that one glued. And that way he's fresh to drive my father in the morning. Just, you know, but I do need somebody to come over and get my vehicle and all this stuff. And so my father, you know, I always give him extra keys and things. And so I called my aunt. I told her, could she come over and with my dad in the morning before they left, get the car or whatever. And then my boyfriend, that would give him time to, you know, my uncle to go down and tell him to take a shower or whatever, feed the cats, and come on. And so then that night I'm walking my aunt through different things with my dogs, and just so much. Oh, so anyway, during this time then, there was some lady that came by. She was a nurse, whatever, right? Come to find out she was a CNA or whatever, but I don't really know what, you know them apart necessarily at that point. So I was like, honey, look, level with me. I've got to take care of my dad, my doggies, I got to know what I'm dealing with here. Like, you're talking about flying me out? And then there was no choppers anyway, so it didn't even matter. And I was 30 minutes in the opposite direction of what everybody else would have gone in anyway. So I said, what am I looking at here? Like, level with me. And so I wasn't really nervous much until that point. And then she's like, yes, you know, like, it's very serious. You could die, basically, just her words. And I was like, okay, thank you, I think. And so then from that, I was like, oh. And so then a nurse happened to be walking by. And so I asked him, I was like, all right, so how, like, what's the time frame here? Like, am I going to die in an hour? Am I going to die like 3 hours? Like, what do I have here? And he's like, well, nobody knows that, blah, blah, blah. But if you more or less like you got affairs to take care of, get them in order kind of thing. And I'm like, shit. So I wasn't expecting that. I just was going to have some pneumonia. Okay, that's all I was going to go have. And so now I'm like, oh my gosh. And there's like so many things, like I've never really, to be honest, thought about dying before my father, right? And I mean, I have some life insurance, but not enough. And like, I mean, I have enough as far as burying me and that kind of thing, which I don't want to be buried anyway, but that's another story. But to do what I need done, and some to take care of the dogs and things. But like I said, I've just never thought about me going first from my father. And like, I want to provide round the clock nursing care if that's what he needs, and just things, you know. And so I'm now going to take out a bigger insurance policy on myself, and just in case, and so that he will have things like that I just never really thought about until then. So anyway, they come back, tell me there's no ambulance, whatever, and so I mean, no, they said there's no chopper. That's what it was. I was going to have to go by ambulance. So I'm kind of just waiting on that. And then they came back and told me at some point, I don't know when, that there were no ambulances either. That there were now 5 of us that needed to go to a bigger place. And so we were just up the creek without a paddle, you know. And well, first of all, the flood took out a few of the ambulances. They were actually like right across the parking lot at the whatever office, I don't know, where the ambulances stay. You know what? I don't have any black 3D foam. I do somewhere. I got some in a kit. But I'm going to try to color that through there. And I will be ordering some black pretty soon because I can't find mine, and I don't have much, even though, you know, I had a little that came in a kit, but not like a huge amount anyway. So, so at that point, I do have to kind of tell my father, like I said, that I was going and all that, but I still didn't want him to worry. If he could get any sleep, you know, I wanted him to, and I don't know. But anyway, so a friend of mine that lives close by, she came over and sat with me for hours. It was very, very sweet. And I finally made her go home because I knew she had to work too. And I appreciated it very much. But, and then the fact that I'm just having to keep her calm, and she's like crying, like, "You're gonna die." So, there's that. And so I'm trying to be, you know, calm and whatever for both of us. I'm like, "No, it's gonna be fine." And I'm like, it's early. So anyway, and she had offered to bring me donuts even earlier when I was just like in the waiting room. And now I wish I would have let her. I really do. Because at that point, now the things were all closed. There was no McDonald's in my future. And they wouldn't let me have any, like anything, water, crackers, nothing. And they didn't even want me to get up to go to the bathroom, although I did once. And then I got the sweetest text from a parent and of a kid I used to have. And they're like, "What you doing? How you doing?" You know, I'm like, "Well," I thought, "Well," I said, "Well, I'm actually in the hospital right now." But I was like, "How are you guys doing?" And anyway, I thought she just had some random question about flood stuff, or, you know, something the school offered, or I don't know. But no, she had seen me waddle over to the bathroom, and she was also or her daughter was also in the emergency room. And she's like, "Are you in the hospital?" "Well, blah, blah, blah." Anyway, so she, we chatted for a little bit, and then she was there way before I was. So she got like the first ambulance, I guess. And so I got to wave at my child or kid, you know. Hang on, I'm gonna double layer this. So that was nice. And then later, and she was going, not the same place I was, but the same town. They have like a women and children's center. So she was going to that. But so she texted me several times and checking and things. That was sweet. But, and she, bless her heart, was diagnosed with epilepsy. So that's gonna be a tough road too. But goodness. Anyway, goodness gracious. I don't know what I'm doing here, as you can tell. And I didn't color that, so golly. Well, we're just gonna roll with this and see how it goes. Okay, I don't think I actually need to take that off now because I need that another layer. Just want it to be a little bit raised up. Golly, now I don't know. I think I can color those sides though if I try. Anyway, so so Michael finally found my boyfriend. My friend went home, and so I was there, and you do a lot of thinking while you're alone, you know, and strangely, I don't know, they just made it sound so bad and such a bad outlook. You know, you just think, and you have time to just, I don't know, be with yourself, your thoughts and whatever. And I was okay with it. I didn't want to leave my father or my dogs, and I didn't, you know, I was sad about all that, like not trying to go, you know, but I weirdly became at peace with it, and I really didn't expect that from myself somehow. I don't know what I expected, but and part of it is that my belief system, I guess, and I believe in like reincarnation and things like that. I feel like this is not my only trip around the sun, you know what I mean? So now who, what I come back as, don't know. It was this world, a different one, I don't know. But we have no answers. But I do believe there's a beyond, I guess. So that helps. But I was just I was more at peace than I thought. So that was kind of nice. All right, I'm gonna do one more little dot right there. And so anyway, finally, I went in about, I don't know, 5 o'clock maybe, something like that, the evening before. So finally at like 7 o'clock that morning, they finally came with the ambulance. And by that time, my father and my aunt were outside, and they'd come in to visit me a minute. And so I made them leave and try to get home and whatever. And on their way home is when I called and said the ambulance is here and I'm headed out. The ambulance ride, y'all, oh my gosh, was the worst ride in my life. I won't say never, but if there's any whatever in me, I'm not taking the ambulance. I may die on the way because it's a long haul to that big hospital, but I'm not riding in the ambulance anymore. It was horrible. Plus, I had a new girl, of course, and they were nice, but I might as well just puff this up too, right? She had only been driving for a few months, and on and on and on. Anyway, she could not drive that thing, and we live 2 of the 3 hour drive. 2 of the 3 hours that it took us to get there were all mountainous, horrible, some windy, curvy roads. And oh my gosh, so I get car sick anyway, but it was so horrible. And it was hot, like they had the heat on. Finally I was like, for the love of God, can you turn the heat off? He's like, oh yeah, I'll turn you some air on. And so that helped a little bit, but it was hot. hot. Oh, so hot. And I'd never felt so bad. It was like the carnival ride that would never end. And honestly, that was the worst of all this. I mean, it really, really was. Like, I don't know, that causes me some PTSD. I don't ever want to see an ambulance again. And I could feel every bump. I could feel every, and she, being new, not been able to drive just yet, I guess, she kept running off the road 1,000. I mean, like, if we did once, we did 50 times, no joke. And it was bad. So, but whatever, I'm alive. So they put me on a heparin drip and all that there and took that with me. And so we finally got there, and I walked in. Well, I didn't walk in. I was wheeled in this little stretcher thing. And I just looked at, there was like a whole team of people in my room, like nurses and doctors and this and that. I'm like, who the heck? What? It's like a freaking welcoming committee. And I just said, I've got to go to the bathroom. Like, they wouldn't let me before. I've got told, and they're like, oh, if they won't let you. Anyway, I'm like, I've got to go. So, but anyway, so they said I could or whatever. And it was like, I'm like, it's just right there. And so I went to the bathroom because I was afraid they were going to put like a catheter or something. I don't know what they're going to do. And, but anyway, just wanted to go to the bathroom and have a second of peace. And so I did, and I came back out, and so I sat down on the bed. I was like, all right, what do you want me to do? And they're like, well, we're not really used to people just walking to the bathroom and walking back to bed. And, like most people were worse off, I guess. So that made me feel good. That was good. And so they were like laughing and joking and whatever. And this is Dr. So-and-so, and this is Nurse So-and-so, and you can call him Bobo, you can call him Bo, you can call him. I'm like, I don't care. I just want to just fix it. And after the horrible ride, I just was not recovered yet. And so I was like, I was trying to be nice, like, yeah, hi, okay. And so anyways, like, tell us what's wrong, and what's been going on. And so I did, and I don't know, it was like, first, so then I told him, I was like, well, the hospital said to more or less get my affairs in order, and that, I may not make it, that kind of thing. And they're like, no, we're not going to let you die. You're fine. You're going to be okay. And all this stuff, they're like, we've seen much worse than this. There's lots of things we can do, so I felt better at that point that I was like at a real hospital. And so even if they were lying, I still felt better about it, And so then soon, I don't know, my father and boyfriend were probably, I don't know, 40 minutes, 30 minutes away, I guess. And so it's kind of settled in. And then, so they got there. And yeah, I did spray that, didn't I? What do you guys think about adding just a little splatter to this? I'm not sure. I don't know. We'll think on it. We might try this one and see how it looks. Since I do know I'm going to raise this up, I think I'm going to go ahead and start with this one, and we can move a little faster. Don't you just wish the story would move faster? But anyway, so I was glad to see my father, well, both of them, but I don't know, like I didn't want to cause him to have the trip, but I didn't want to not be able to say goodbye if that was the case either, and I couldn't have him by himself. So I wanted my boyfriend to drive him, and so he wouldn't be alone if I died, and all this stuff, is going through your head. And but once the doctor talked to us all and kind of assured us that I'm not dying and all that they can, they can't 100% guarantee it, but they were telling us all the options that we might be able to do this and this and this. And if not, we could do some clot busting with, like, go in my groin area and go up and whatever, and do the surgical thing. Or if that's not the case, then something more, rough, I guess. But anyway, just some things. So that kind of, it gave me some hope and that I was in a real place. And then they wanted to put the IV in. Oh, I dreaded that so bad. And so they were looking at my veins, and they're like, man, you don't really have any. And so they called the guy from um, wherever, whatever department. And so I was thrilled with him because, of course, he was talking a lot of smack. I was like, look, you back that up. That's all I care about. Back it up, buddy. And and he could. So that was great because he brought the, oh, what's that thing called? The little, the ultrasound machine, like where they find your veins with an ultrasound first or whatever, and use that to go in. So that's nice because my little rinky-dink hospital has nothing like that. And so that was great. I'm just going to pop this up once, I think. I don't think I'm going to double layer it. We'll see. Yeah, I don't think so. I might put a little piece right there on the bottom. So that was refreshing, and so I don't even remember what happened after that. Let's see. We went. I don't know. I hate asking people for anything. It's just, I don't know, like even just feeding my dogs and my aunt, and not that, I mean, she would do anything for us. It's not that. I don't know. It's just my family. We've always been real, not, I guess, self-sufficient, but like we would just take care of each other. Me and my mom and dad were all a team, and we took care of it, whatever it was. Like it was kind of instilled in me, not exactly, I should never ask for help, but you do things yourself, you don't depend on others, you don't, whatever, like, you just, I don't know, you don't ask for help, I guess, is what I mean. But I don't mean it as bad as it sounds. Like, we come from a loving family and all that, and they'll help anytime, but I don't know, we just never took it. And we always just, whatever, we didn't mind helping others. We'd help others all day long. I went into a helping profession, but I don't know, you take care of your own stuff, and you don't be the one that needs help, more or less, in whatever situation it is. So, so I've always had a hard time, I guess, asking somebody for something or whatever. I'll do without, I'll go without, I'll whatever, just, I don't know. It's just one of those things. But, let's see. Yeah, I guess I will. But luckily, they had a different outlook, so that was good. And I kept my heparin drip for a while. But then they switched me to, they wanted to see how the, what's it called? The Eliquis did, a blood thinner. And it's actually one my father's on. And, which is kind of a bummer because I know how much it costs. So that was like, ugh, but whatever, you got to save your life at that point. But they wanted to switch it to pill form and see how I did with that. So I did that for a day, and other than making me a little dizzy, which is not the amount of dizzy after I came home, but it's another story, I was okay. I could still, like, I could walk the halls. I didn't need any oxygen during this time or anything. And it was the funniest thing. They kept saying, you came in on room air and heparin and blah, blah, blah. And they would always say room air, you're on room air. I'm like, what is this room air? And he thought it was so funny. My nurse was fabulous. His name is Bo. Yay, shout out to Bo. He was just the most chill, laid back. I don't know, I just loved him. And the family loved him too. He was great. But I thought it was like some medicine I was on. I thought, I don't think they gave me room air. I don't remember them saying anything about that. And I thought it was like RHEUMR. I don't know. Like, I was trying to imagine how to spell it. I went to Google it. And so finally I asked him, I was like, what is this room air you keep talking about? I said, what is that? I'm trying to look. He's like, no, no, no. He's like, it's not a medicine. He's like, you're on room air. Like, you're breathing room air in the room. I'm like, oh, but they'd always say it like it was one word, like room air. And anyway, he just thought that was hilarious. I'm like, oh my God. But, so anyway, uh, my dad and boyfriend got a hotel that night and stayed up there. I kind of ran him off early because it's not good for my dad to be sitting. Although I did have like a little bougie room. It was in the new wing, and it was awesome. So I was loving that. But it had like a couch that pulled out into a bed and that kind of thing. My boyfriend wanted to take my dad back to the hotel and then come back and stay with me a while. And I didn't really want him to leave my dad. But anyway, so finally, then they went to get one. And I should have, again, like taken care of stuff, but should have made them a reservation and that kind of thing. But I thought they could handle that. And so, but for some reason, there was I don't know, a wrestling match or something in town, and everything was booked up near the hospital, like everything. So they had to go about 30 minutes down the road, and I was already worried because my dad had been, you know, the trip and driving anyway. And so, okay, let's just, well, I'm just going to place a few dots here, and we'll just wing it. I was going to lay them out, but I think it'll be okay. One there. But anyway, I got to know all about everybody there. I don't know why, like, people want to tell me their whole life story or something, and maybe I just have one of those faces. But even like, no, this was a dog thing. The lady that came and did my ultrasound in the middle of the night there, she, I feel like you're all up in my business and whatever, from my, you know, top of my leg to the whatever, so just make some chit chat. And anyway, she has a corgi, and which I have a part corgi, and so we were talking about that, and she's just stopped the whole process to show me his picture and all this stuff. He was so cute. And she'd go by and wave when she'd go do somebody else and whatever later in the hall. And apparently I'd made friends with a random convict janitor, and anyway, people were just very, very open. And then there's Bo. He chatted a lot. And one time I just pretended to be on the phone. He chatted so much. I'm like, phew. And so finally he went on. But I was worn out. But he's getting ready to have surgery this week. And well, I guess he's already had it now. But he was telling me all about that. But he was so knowledgeable about everything, just in general, about all this stuff. And I did have some questions. So, and actually in my checkout process, oh man, the turned upside down. He really didn't even have to tell me much because we had literally talked about everything, I do believe. And so that was good and bad, I guess. But it was a great hospital, and you know, for a hospital stay, as good as you can get. And I felt pretty good at the hospital, to be honest, except for that little bit of dizziness and things, and tired, of course. But I hadn't slept in a couple days, and finally had something to eat. And once they figured out they weren't going to do the surgery or whatever, that worked out. So so that was good. And but they think overall that hopefully the clots will dissolve with this oral blood thinner in 3 to 6 months. That's what they typically see. And so I got a letter. I've got another appointment in, I don't know, towards the end of May. But that's close to getting out of school, so I'm just going to bump that a couple of weeks and try to not miss work. And because I've been off all this time. And I was actually, so weirdest thing, I was supposed to be up there anyway at a conference for my job, and it was a real bummer because I really wanted to go to that. I didn't at first, but just being away from Dad and whatever, and then I got to where actually I did want to go, and I was kind of looking forward to it. So, and I lost money on that because, and it's, you know how, like, I still could have canceled in a reasonable amount of time, and I did, but they just have a policy that, and I didn't get to stay because I made the reservations late even with that. because I wasn't sure how Dad's leg was going to do back then. And so I didn't get at the actual hotel the conference was. I had to get a few hotels down the road, which was still, it was Holiday Inn Express. I mean, it was fine. But I didn't really want to drive, but that was okay. But I did not like their cancellation policy because now it cost me a day just because I canceled, right? So because I didn't get the insurance. I should have got the insurance, I suppose. But anyway, I did not have any more blood clots in my legs with the ultrasound. And so that was good. I loved, like I said, the IV ultrasound thing. That technology was fabulous. And I wish they had that everywhere, just for my regular blood work. That'd be nice. Anyway, my boyfriend came back the following day. And I talked them into going home because my friend was going to come and pick me up or whatever. And I really just didn't want my dad to come back. And I know she was worried about me too. And she's been very sweet through all this. And so my boyfriend really wanted to come back up and get me, but I'm like, no, you just stay down there and take care of things. And I would feel better if you guys were at home with my dogs. Please just take care of my babies. And of course, I talked to my dogs on the cameras and all that all the time. One time, a nurse walked in, I was like, you know, and I just looked up, like, I was like, oh, it's the dogs. And then she's like, oh, let me see him, you know. And so I was showing her, and then she was showing me hers. And anyway, became known as the dog lady there, I think. And, but anyway, there was just so much. Like, as soon as they took me off the blood thinner, and this is probably TMI, but you know, I share everything anyway, why not? So I started my period while I was there because probably because I came off the birth control, but it was time right then anyway. So, and so this is, I don't even know what day this is, March the whatever day you see this. I've been bleeding since, now I don't even know. It's been a while. It's like 13 days, maybe, something like that. But, so I've been bleeding a while. And heavy bleeding. I've never been a heavy bleeder, not since, like, you know, you're young in your 20s or something. And, but yeah, I just, you know, I don't know, just haven't. And so now I'm like, but they said that was normal with the blood thinner and things. And I've told him, like, my back hurts, which he says it's not your back, it's your lungs. And, but I don't know why. It actually hurts sitting here stamping. That's why I haven't been doing too much stamping. But when I came home, like I said, my sweet friend came to get me. She brought me prizes, and then she took me to get donuts, which I'm trying to do that whole life change and, you know, eat well and all that. But I thought, well, one more day is not going to kill me if this didn't. So I had some donuts, and we went to eat Chinese. And but I was feeling tired, but pretty good there because I couldn't even do my Chinese justice. I felt really bad. But I was really wanting to go there with the conference, so I've just been thinking about it a lot. But anyway, so we went, and then on the way home, having my whole life change there, so I decided to stop at Food City and get some healthy stuff for the week, like, you know, fruits, veggies, all the things. But I really didn't feel like it. She said she'd go in and get it for me. I'm like, no, I'm fine. And I was falling asleep on her on the way and all that, but couldn't help it. But I really wasn't quite up to shopping. I went in the bathroom. My boyfriend happened to call about that time. I was literally, like, leaned up against the side of the bathroom stall, which is gross, and I never do. But I was just that tired. And he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, shopping. He's like, you feeling okay? I'm like, doing great. I thought, oh my God, I don't even have the strength to pull up my pants. But anyway, that's a whole other story. But so I got me some healthy stuff, and that's what I've been eating this week. And we'll talk about life changes and doing all the things later and all my epiphanies and where that's going to go and what. But when I got back home, I just slept like a log, you know, because you don't get any sleep in the hospital. And at first I was like, the first night I was just still kind of afraid to go to sleep. I'm like, geez, am I just going to drift off into the abyss? I don't know. So I didn't. And they were in there like all night long checking everything. And every so many hours they have to draw blood, and which they did put 2 IVs in, not just one, yay, 2. But that is good because, in case one didn't work or whatever, and that was the case by the end of it. So that was a good thing, I guess, on their part. But so they released me and gave me some time off work and things, but I really thought I'd be fine. But I came home, like I said, slept for a rock that next day. The following day, I got up and I've been dizzy, not busy. Wish I was busy. Very dizzy from then until basically yesterday. I was so dizzy that like I couldn't lay on my side, the room would spin and all that, but that kind of went away and I could lay on it again later on, but I don't know, like I had to use my father's extra walker in the house, like I look like I'm 100, and but you gotta do what you gotta do, right, not to fall on your face, which really scares me about going back to work. So you're gonna see this, what tonight is, it's like Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, early, I guess. I'm a night owl, but so you'll probably see it on Wednesday. But I plan on going back to work Thursday. I just hope that's okay. I'm really nervous about it. I don't want to fall on my face. You know what I mean? It's now to the point where I don't know if I'm dizzy because of the new pills, and which they had me on a mega dose, and for 7 days or whatever, and then I got to come off of that. I was on, well, I feel like it's mega, I don't know, 20 milligrams of Eliquis, and then now I got to go to 5 in the morning and 5 in the evening, which is 10. And I thought somebody told me, I don't know, I thought this was the maintenance dose, but then they said no, they think 5 is the maintenance dose, so I don't know. So like a 2.5 and 2.5, I don't know. But whatever, I'll figure that out later. But for now, for the next 90 days, I'm on 10. And so that's whatever. I don't know if it's just not agreeing with me. I thought one time I had an inner ear thing. I don't know. I still cough, although they said, coughing is normal. You may cough up some blood, things like that. You're going to have more bleeding. Watch for bleeding, with your gums or with your anything, and that's why I was concerned with the period. They're like, oh, well, that's just the time to, keep your iron up and eat a steak and a hamburger and whatever. I'm like, yeah, but what about that diet thing? Because I also asked them about to test. They didn't test for that, but I asked them to do my cholesterol, and so it was a little high, and which I've known forever. But so I asked them to put me on some cholesterol medicine. They're like, well, your PCP, your primary care physician, would normally do that and whatever. Talk to them, and I'm like, well, no, I'd really like your opinion. Like I wanted to say, you seem like you have sense. Can you do this for me? Because I wanted, their opinion, the best one, this and that. Because honestly, going to a doctor around here, my little area, I might as well go to the vet. I mean, I get better care there, and which is sad, but it's just where we live. And and going to this hospital made me see that so much more. I cannot believe the care that we get here compared to what they have there, and just wow. So of course they did EKGs and all that at both places, and my heart was pretty good. It was like elevated one time. Just the trauma of the clots, they said, was pushing it up or something, but now it's back down, and the levels or whatever they test for, I don't know, are pretty good. I have not started my cholesterol meds yet, just because that's something they didn't tell me to do. I was just asking them for that. I just don't want to give myself anything else to have to struggle through right now. Start those eventually, and I'm going to work on it with diet and exercise anyway. And I've already lost 7 pounds. Yay. So been just eating fruits and veggies and yogurt and this and that. I did have a steak though, because I thought that might help my bleeding, but or just feel better. But I don't know. But anyway, I think I'm weak from that. Don't know when that'll end. Internet says it's normal. They say it's normal. I don't know. And sometimes they said you might be, it's like debilitating, basically monthly. And so that's not good. You'll feel really weak and just, I don't know. I can't, I don't know, y'all. going to be rough. But whatever, I'm alive, so we'll get through all that stuff. I hope they don't have to change this, and it's what's causing me to be dizzy, because, like I said, when I changed from the big dosage to the next dosage, I could feel a little difference, so maybe either my body's adjusting, or it's not as much blood flow. I don't know what it is, but hopefully that will help some, and I don't know, but I mean, I've got to work, so there's no real option, I've got 10 years till I can retire, so got to get this fixed. But anyway, I don't know, but it's been an adventure, so I'm not out of breath, at least. I mean, I might sound like a little exasperated, but not so much. Not like I was before, and not every time I walk through the house. Now it's more if I go from one end all the way to the other and bend over and things like that. So I feel like, to me, that's an improvement. And my chest still hurts some, but now I know what it is, at least. And it's just going to take time. So everybody has been great, though. I want to thank you for your all's well wishes and that kind of thing. But I've gotten flowers. They wouldn't let me have flowers in the ICU. I just think that's wrong. But anyway, my little cousin sent me some flowers, and she called. She's like, "Did you get them? Did you get them? Did you get them?" I'm like, "Nope, nope, nope." And so anyway, then she'd called the day I was checking out. She's like, "She still hasn't gotten them. What is going on?" And they're like, "Well, they won't let us deliver them." She's like, "Well, she's getting released today." So anyway, I think they refunded her. But later, she brought me down some flowers too. And my boyfriend had me a dozen roses waiting here, and that kind of thing, and cards, and lots of texts and phone calls and this and that. So I appreciate everything from everybody. And I've just been sleeping a lot and trying to just rest up and figure out this new life. So maybe it's a wake-up call, but I don't know. So I will talk much more about it in the future. But I'm home now, and that is half the battle. I'm back with my doggies, and that is the one thing that I can't do a lot, and whatever, I've had to be limited in some of the things, but I am still feeding my dogs. I won't let my father do that. First of all, he'd be wobbly out on the porch worse than I am, probably. So I just hold on and and the dogs, it's like they know. They've been very, very gentle, and if you knew my front doggies, that's not them. The puppies, no, they're not gentle at all. But they've been very gentle, so that's nice. And I've really missed them. So, but just feeding them has been like climbing Mount Everest. So, but hopefully each day that's getting better and better, and I'll get stronger and stronger. And wish me luck not to fall on my face at work. And it's more now, I can walk through the house if I'm focused really well. Like, you sort of put your hands out a little bit, kind of steadying yourself. It's not as bad with the dizziness, but if I do any turn, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm going to completely wipe out and I have to hold on to something. So, but hopefully that'll keep getting better and better and going on and all that good stuff. But we'll chat more, like I said, about this in the future. And I like the cards for today. I do like this one better, just because I feel like probably because it matches out a little bit more. But, so what do you think of that? And I want to send this out to the lady today. Let me know if you think I still should add a couple of pink pearls on it or not. And thank you if you have stayed in it this long. Y'all know I can't tell a story without all my and losing focus for the card for a few minutes and whatever. But that's just me. So thanks for watching, and thanks for being there, and I will talk to y'all later. Wish you a happy, healthy night.